Good morning and welcome to Today in L.A. My name's Mike Amos. Bill Rice will be here soon. We're waiting a little ice on the windows. Hey, let me tell you, you can't get the ice off your windows, you can't drive the car. And I had a little bit of problems this morning, but thank goodness I finally found out how you defrost a big old truck like mine. And so everything went pretty good for me, but I can understand how if you don't have your right defrost on, you're not going to get to work on time. So make sure that you go out and crank your car up and sort of get rid of all this ice. It is a heavy freeze this morning, and temperatures are really probably maybe the lowest I would think in the whole fall. And I was telling somebody this morning that I can't remember it being any colder than it is right now, and we're going to find out exactly how cold it is. And the temperature for Troy, Alabama, and here it is right
it's
here.
27 degrees outside.
27 degrees in downtown Troy, Alabama this morning, and even colder out on the bypass. And of course, again, it says there's a chance of rain. Whoa, you don't want it raining today. We'll ice all over, because it is a heavy freeze out there, and I hope everybody's doing well. Hope you're doing well, Doug Carmichael, and up in the mountains of North Alabama. He watches our show on Facebook, and we appreciate it very much, and his great comments. And he was in Troy this weekend for the John Archer reunion, and boy, we had another great time. And there we are. There's my handsome face, and of course, brought to you by Jean's Flowers. Jean's Flowers can deliver flowers across the nation, across the world. They've been in the business a long time, and they're great people, and we appreciate their sponsorship. Also, Troy Bank and Trust Company. Remember, Troy Bank and Trust Company is the only bank you'll ever need, with 14 locations, soon to be, listen to this, soon to be 16 locations. So it's fast growing. It's $1 billion bank, and we're proud to have it in Troy, Alabama, and be a part of it. Also, the Alabama Real Estate Connection. My wife, Carol Amos, call her at 672-0100. 672-0100. I want to mention also our friends at Goldfingers. If you have not tried Goldfingers, you have missed out on a treat. A great bunch of chicken, I promise you, at Goldfingers, right here, right next to right on the bypass right here in Troy. Health Actions also is another one of our fine sponsors. And here he comes, and believe it or not, I wish you could see all of him, ladies and gentlemen. He's half dressed this morning. Bill Rice is with us, and we're glad to have him. And
well, I had another
ice
issue, and I almost had a wreck coming in again.
I'm telling you, listen, I drove like this. I drove like this until it finally got up a little bit. But, you know, even with my, I have that seat heater and all that.
Yeah.
And I even have a heater for my steering wheel. And it still didn't get
well, and then I can't roll down my windows to see to the left and the right because they're frosted up and they won't roll down.
That's right. And you don't want to pour water on it because it makes it even worse, I think.
Well, I did that this morning, but it was still slow. So that's why I'm a couple minutes late. That's my excuse.
We're glad you're here, Bill Rice. And, of course, did you have a nice holiday? It seemed like a pretty long holiday. It was a lot of fun.
Long holiday. We've lots happened since we've been on the show together.
Let's check this out real quick. Good morning. You're on Today in L.A.
Morning. How y'all?
Is it iced over down in Grayton Beach?
Yeah, it's around 34 degrees.
So you don't have an ice problem with
We
that?
had snow in Troy on Saturday. Was it Saturday?
Yeah.
I saw it. It was weird. We were on my sister and mother-in-law up in Mountain Brook, and snow kind of was everywhere around Birmingham, but it kind of missed Birmingham and hit like Lake Martin and Troy, Auburn, places like that.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it didn't stick, but man, there was for about a 45 minutes or an hour, it was really coming down.
I tell you, when you get any kind of snow in Troy, people get excited. But this morning, Mike,
Yeah.
it's a terrible icing this morning. And, of course, a lot of folks are going to have that same problem you had, right? So I can't see it getting any better until maybe mid-morning. I don't know.
Well, man, it's bad because I am riding right into the sun, and I have these.
Yeah, that is bad, too, isn't it? Isn't that sun something?
The frost and the condensation, it's just, you're almost literally driving blind. It's dangerous.
Yeah, it is dangerous. So be careful and take your time going to work today because, and then, of course, you got to. Most people have over an hour left to wait. Yeah.
28 degrees in Troy right now.
I had 27 just a while ago.
Yeah.
Well,
Later this week it's going to be 25 and 27.
oh boy.
So remember, we had around Christmas, we did have global warming. It was record highs, but see, it all just wait, and the weather will change. The weather never stays the same.
The best thing you can do is crank your car up and let that ice defrost a little bit.
Yeah.
And like you said, see, I even have it on my steering wheel, and it's still.
Well, I would much rather have your nice Premier Dodge truck than my old used car from 2009. But it's paid for, so I'm sticking with it.
You're right. That means a lot. Oh, boy, everybody keeps asking me about that. Is that your real hair or that a mop you put on the top of your hair? Go ahead and let me pull that off.
Yeah, that's my real hair. That's
I was with your.
Ronnie, can you follow what's going on at the University of Alabama? All these players.
What's happening?
It's an exodus, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, juniors entering the draft. Evan Neal, first-round pick. A lot of people think James Williams, wide receiver, was going to be a first-round pick. John Mechie's going pro, even though it was knee injury. Shocker of all shockers here, Slade Bolden is going early.
Oh no way! He's not going. Nobody's going to pick him up.
Another shocker here, Jalen Armour Davis, who started for the first time this year, missed all the playoff games. He was injured. This guy had a phenomenal national championship game. Christian Harris had 3 sacks. He's going early to the draft. And then players not entering the draft and staying are Henry Toto, linebacker, DJ Dale, nose guard, DeMarco Helms, junior safety, Jordan Battle, safety, Brian Young, junior, and Emil Okafor are all staying at Alabama. Players that have entered the transfer portal, Paul Tyson, Bear Bryant's great-grandson.
Where does he expect to go? Nobody's going to pick Paul Tyson up.
He went to Arizona State, so he's playing at Arizona State in the Pac-12, just like Bo Nix.
Oh, excuse me. You mean Paul Tyson is moving to another school?
He's gone.
Yeah, he's at Arizona State. Wide receiver Javon Baker. These are guys that transferred. Has not picked the school yet. Dale Billingsley, who was a huge disappointment, will be reunited with his old coach at Texas. So Billingsley's going to Texas.
Boy,
Tommy Brown's in the transfer portal. Jalen Moody's in the transfer portal.
Golly.
There,
now let me.
Drew Sanders is gone. Is in the portal. Former 5-star.
Let him have him.
Of all the ones you've said, he's the one that kind of troubles me the most because Drew Sanders is going to be a good player. He was a good player, but I'll tell you what, the reason he's transferring, he is not as good as number 15, who is going to be a star. And so Drew Sanders was not going to start next year. Any of these guys that aren't going to start they're going to transfer now.
And that's Dallas Turner. It's the guy that you're talking about that Drew Sanders. Then King Matuku is at Arkansas State with Butch Jones. Billingsley's going to go play with Sarkisian, where he put up huge numbers at Alabama, so I can understand that move to Texas. But Alabama's not used to this over the years, all this movement. Usually it's just guys going to the draft early. It's not guys transferring.
Yeah, it's worth noting, Michael. I agree. Now, the other side of it will be how many does Alabama go out and get in the transfer portal? They're going to have to get a good number.
And Michael, what are they?
Several wide receivers will be going to Alabama. I mean, you look for Alabama to have a lot of transfers in this week, I would imagine.
Yeah. So this is going to be a big week for the portal. And gosh, you don't.
I mean,
know.
it's unlimited free agency, but it's a lot more free than even the NFL, because the NFL you got to negotiate and you got agents involved, and
did you say that
in college you just put your name in the portal and then you just go wherever you
That's
want
right.
to.
And see, the great thing about it, if you don't get picked up, or you see that you're not going to be
Stay there.
You can go back to school. You can go back to your school.
Also breaking news here, big news for high school football. Ben Blackman to leave Spanish Fort, where he's been dominant, to be the head coach at Enterprise High School. So Ben Blackman, the former Troy quarterback, is leaving Spanish Fort to go to Enterprise. That is a huge move.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, he's a good football coach and a good friend of ours. I'm glad to see it, and I look forward to seeing him.
I look for Enterprise to be a football power sometime in the next 5 years. They've got too much going for them. It's kind of like Georgia. It's just a matter of time before they got all the pieces together.
Well, I don't know if they fired the old man there, but the guy that ran the Notre Dame box is gone. So, and Ben will be a refreshing new member of the Enterprise High School football staff.
I mean, Ben won over 10 games at Spanish Fort, probably at least 10 times. I mean, he's put up some huge numbers as a coach, and he's very young too.
Yeah, no question about
maybe
it.
he'll send some good players to Troy.
How about this? He was 77-18 in 7 years at Spanish Fort.
That was pretty good. You're right. One of the guys, Mike, that played for McGill Tulane is on Troy's staff now. He's as a player as a high school.
Oh yeah, he was at McGill. Then he went to Prattville High School.
Name's Edward. Yeah, Ross. His name Ross, isn't it?
Yeah, Caleb Ross.
And he's going to be a nice addition to Troy's staff. Troy's now filled up their staff. I was at a deal where a meeting, breakfast, and so forth with Coach John Summerall, and he gave us all the information on his new staff, and he is ready to go. He's got his staff ready to go, and
it's crazy they have not released any of those names on TroyCoaches.com.
Yeah.
What we're waiting on.
Well, Bam's coming back. Poe's coming back.
The show that Bam was coming back, and then Gary Banks is coming back. Al Poe was coming back, and then offensive line, defensive line, some other coaches had not been announced.
Yes, and of course, the more I tell you, Coach, and I hear it from so many people. Coach Solomon he's the kind of guy that we need at Troy. He's hands-on, and of course we're excited about seeing his team play.
Yeah, I saw him on Twitter yesterday. He took the entire football team to Montgomery to visit the Civil Rights Museum.
Well, that was good. That was good. Yeah, that was real good. And
of course, Alabama basketball continues to struggle. I was watching some of their games. Lost to Mississippi State, got out, rebounded tremendously. Then they fell to Auburn. Auburn should have been the number one team in the country. They instead gave it to Gonzaga, a team that Alabama actually beat. So Auburn's number 2 in the country. Alabama's fallen out of the top 25. Troy had both of their games canceled due to COVID issues. Of course, the 258 reunion was a big deal for a lot of fans that were wanting to see these former players. It's been moved to sometime in February.
February the 12th is moved to Saturday, Federal.
And I'm going to be there, and I'm going to interview these guys and do a retrospective story on this.
Yeah, that would be good.
Good. I really wasn't quite mentally ready to do a big story, but this will give me more time.
Also, Oregon got a transfer QB. Robbie Ashford commits to Oregon transfer quarterback Robbie Ashford commits to Auburn. So now Auburn has 2 transfers.
At quarterback?
From Oregon.
And
so Auburn, they did a swap. Auburn's quarterback went to Oregon, and Oregon's had a quarterback that went to Auburn.
Do you remember the Oregon quarterback? I don't remember him.
Oh, yeah.
He's a Hoover native. He played at Hoover in high school.
What
basically has not played much while he's been in Oregon, but he's coming back to try to make it at Auburn.
Okay. So
Also played baseball at Oregon as well.
Must be pretty good. Oh boy.
What, did y'all watch any of those pro football games over the weekend? Man, that was pretty good football.
Yeah,
I didn't watch one of them. I saw the scores. I've been binge
almost
watching the House of Cards with Kevin Spacey.
You like that?
The great Kevin Spacey. No more television and movies for him. He got a little too much trouble.
Well, it was like his real life was kind of like the character he plays on the TV. He is a devious, diabolical character on this. Now he's a great actor, but yeah, he has his own controversies. It's kind of like reminds me kind of Mad Men.
Yeah, a little bit.
Where all the characters they're so everybody is so manipulative, and you know.
Yeah, I wish they'd bring back Mad Men, just even if it's a rerun. I really enjoyed Mad Men.
House of Cards is kind of like a Mad Men set in Washington D.C. about politics instead of New York and ad agencies.
Want to mention? Want to say hello to Jason and all my friends at Premier Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram trucks this morning. Boy, they had a big weekend, and they have sold those trucks. I'll tell you, but you can still get on. He told me this morning that you can still take advantage of some of the big sales that went on yesterday, and they've got a few more those same vehicles in stock. So they're ready to do business this morning at Premier Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep on the bypass right here in Troy. And you win the Kula, buddy. Congratulations.
I did good in the bowl pickings, so it's good to finish strong. I graded the sheets, and not only did I win the competition, I won it pretty handedly.
Yeah, you did. You get to go ahead and throw milk in my face, you know.
You were Michael. You were second.
If I would have taken every underdog, I could have. I've been rich. I could have taken all the underdogs.
Here's a recap of the NFL over the weekend. The Bengals, Joe Burrow won 26-19 over the Raiders. Buffalo Bills destroyed the Patriots 47-17. I mean, just a total blowout of Belichick and Mac Jones.
And you look at Jones's stats, though, Mike. He threw for 2 touchdowns and over, I think, right at 300 yards.
You know, the first interception was just a great play by that safety. It looked like it was going to be a touchdown pass, and the safety came out of nowhere and intercepted the ball in the end zone. Buccaneers blew out the Eagles 31-15. 49ers just dominated Dallas. I mean, a really good Dallas team.
Man, I wish I could see that.
Dallas had a chance in the end. One of the worst, I would say, decisions by a quarterback, maybe an NFL.
I know.
Decides to run the ball with no timeout.
I wonder whose idea was that to run the ball then. I thought that was crazy.
Well, tell me what happened. I read something about that. What did he do?
There was 14 seconds left, and he had no timeouts. The clock was running.
Yeah.
And then he did have a timeout, I believe.
No, he had no timeouts. That's why it was so strange.
I know, but it was 14 seconds left.
And
he was hoping the official would run up there and help him spike it.
Yeah.
The time ran out. But 49ers deserved to win the game.
Yeah.
Dallas had 14 penalties in the game as well.
Yeah, it was terrible.
So their playoffs continue to be horrible over the last 20 years.
Wait, let me interrupt. What do I say? What determines the outcome of all of these close games? Penalties.
Quarterback play?
No, penalties.
I know,
Referees.
you're right. You know what? I didn't see as many penalties this week, and I think somebody told them to stick their flag in the back
Well,
pocket.
then Dallas had 14, so maybe not.
I know, yeah, but you were.
Chiefs blew out the Steelers big fans last game. As the Steelers, they were actually up 7-0. The Chiefs still won 42-21. Mahomes had 5 touchdown passes. And then last night, a lot of people thought this was going to be a really close game, but the Rams just destroyed the Cardinals 34-11. So that means if you had the home team, every home team covered and won by at least 7 points, except the Cowboys. The Cowboys were the only team to lose at home.
And the Cowboys, at most wouldn't you have thought?
Every other home team won and covered over the NFL playoffs.
Yeah.
Good report.
Wouldn't you have thought Dallas would have won that game? Wouldn't you?
Well, Will Matthews called San Francisco earlier in the week. He likes San Francisco.
You know, the Patriots, I watch them because of Mac Jones, and I picked up on the fact that the Patriots' defense has really regressed in the last couple of weeks. They couldn't get any stops. I don't think they stopped Buffalo the whole game. So it really wasn't the Mac Jones deal.
Well, let me just say this.
I think didn't Buffalo score every time they had the ball, every possession?
But Rice, if somebody asked you to go out and play football with a 9-degree temperature, it was 9 degrees when they were playing that ball game.
I would not do it.
And,
if I was getting paid as much
you're
as
talking about an
advantage,
that would have been a huge advantage for Buffalo.
New England has cold weather too, so I mean they're used to it.
Yeah, you would think so.
I was listening to DA on CBS Radio on the way in, and he was talking about New England should trade for Mac Jones. That they're not going to get to where they want with Mac Jones, and I'm still going to stick by my guns that Mac Jones is going to be a really good quarterback in the NFL. And
I think he's still got a little physically growing up. I think he needs to get stronger. You know, you look at Brady. Brady's strong.
But Brady's body got better as the older he got. You looked at those pictures of him when he was in the combine coming out of college. Yeah. He looked like me.
You know, Brady's the type guy that, everybody looks at him as being sort of a candy butt. But you know what? That guy standing there and punch until he was knocked out. He's a hard-nosed guy.
He's a guy that does not want to lose on anything.
I think Mac Jones is the same way.
I root for Matt Jones,
He's
too. He's
competitive, and he's got a great mind, and he'll be fine. Now, we need to...
Boy, old Hurd,
but we need to go back and spend some more time for our Auburn friends on this great Auburn basketball team. Now, I'm just keeping up with them from afar. Michael, have you watched? I mean, they seem like they got every ingredient to win the whole dang thing.
Yeah, I watched them against Ole Miss the other night. They were down by 12 or 14 in the first half to Ole Miss and Oxford, and then were down by 6 in the half and came back and won by 9.
Thank goodness for the,
They got a great coach, great players.
People gonna laugh at me, but thank goodness for the shot clock. At least it gives a team a chance to come back. You remember the old way without the shot clock? They just sit on the ball.
They sit on it.
And then get other team in foul
Let me ask
trouble.
you did a lot of basketball refereeing. Did high school and college games you did? Did anybody ever do that?
What you mean?
Sit on the ball.
Oh, I've seen people sit on.
So you were just out there by the half court doing this?
That's right. And but Mike, do your children do it?
Looks like Troy has a few transfers right now in football. They got a wide receiver out of St. Louis, Missouri, former UAB player, Ray J. Johnson, huge wide receiver, 6'4", 215, has transferred to Troy from UAB. He was in the portal. Joe Craddock is the offense coordinator at Troy. He was his coach, I guess, at UAB, so that makes sense. We might have some more UAB players transferring in.
Craddock, the new offensive coordinator.
That's a big target there, though. That wide receiver, 6'4", 215.
Yeah. Hey, what about the Troy's wide receiver that had the forfeit the year when he was involved in that criminal case? That hadn't been resolved yet. It might resolve in his favor. I wonder if he could come back and have another year.
I don't know. That was his 6th year. I doubt that will happen.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, I doubt it will too.
Troy also got a transfer offensive lineman in, a guy from Tennessee State that was all conference.
Oh, good.
As a freshman, his name's Jeremiah Frazier. Transferred in from Tennessee State, originally from Pike Road.
Okay.
I wonder how in the world Troy missed this guy the first time. He was at Pike Road High School.
But evidently, though, they must have recruited him.
56, 1 double coming to Troy too as a transfer.
You know, if I was the Troys of the world, I would look at the best 1AA players that want to play Division One, and you know the players at North Alabama and Livingston and Valdosta's level. There's got to be 4 or 5 players on every one of those teams that could be good Division One players.
And hopefully they'll.
You got to think Troy's trying to bring in a quarterback.
I don't know. I saw him this weekend, and you would think he was the quarterback. I saw him at the basketball game, and
but he's never had come close to having a winning season as a starter.
Yeah. Well.
I mean, I want a guy that can come in and win.
Boy, he's got the real ingredients. First of all, he got a good-looking girlfriend. Oh, I'm joking about that, but it's the truth. But you know, you think a guy that's got a girlfriend like that can't have his whole mind on football. You know that.
Well, the biggest thing for Troy is losing close games. You know, Troy has lost so many close games over the last 3 years. That's one thing Neil Brown did, is he found a way to win those close games. Of course, he had Big Tony as defense coordinator too.
Yeah.
I think people forget how great of a coach Tony was for Troy.
Yeah. Well, you know, the recruiters, Bam and Poe, I would think they were the top 2 recruiters on Troy's staff, and they were able to keep those guys. And I tell you what, keeping those 3 guys was big for the defensive side of the ball, because they can coach all 3 of them.
Yeah, the interesting thing is Tyler Johnson left UAB from the transfer portal. He was a 3-year starter at quarterback at UAB.
Yeah.
And, you know, Craddock, of course, was tight ends coach under Brian Vince at UAB the last couple of years. That's a name to maybe look at Troy. Definitely a name to look at South Alabama as well, because he played at Spanish sport in high school, but he'd only have 1 year left. But see, a guy that played at UAB and started for 3 years is interesting to me.
Well, he wasn't the quarterback last year, though, was he?
And he ended up getting hurt and then getting beat out by the Hopkins guy that finished the year. But I'm just saying the guy did start for 3 years as quarterback.
You know what? He might end up at Troy. You know, I think there'd be a chance there. But
I actually thought Paul Tyson Jr. was a possible UAB or Troy guy, but I guess he wanted to go to a Power 5 school and go play for Herm Edwards, who's actually older than Nick Saban.
Yeah.
Well, maybe he'll get a chance. I think he's got some ability.
You know, he's pretty. Now, you know, I say that, and you laugh at me, but he is pretty, you know, but I don't believe he's that good, you know. I don't think. But maybe so.
He even got beat out as the holder at Alabama.
Yeah.
I had no confidence in him as a holder. I was nervous every.
Well,
we missed Mac Jones as a holder. And I still don't know why Troy was playing the Australian punter. I mean, Alabama was playing the Australian punter when the Troy transfer had to have been better.
Yeah, he averaged 45 yards a kick at Troy.
You know, I thought Troy's kicker this year did a good job, didn't you think?
Oh, yeah, he was great. That Luke Mungosi guy.
Yeah, he did a great job. We're going to take a
in from Connecticut.
Mike, we're going to take a short break. We'll be right back.
It's the Big Finish pre-owned sales event. 120 used cars, trucks, and SUVs. $2.5 million in inventory. Starting at $2,995. Down payments as low as $29.
I wish you could taste how much better food tastes when cooked on a Green Mountain Grill. But I can let you in on the reason that's true. Our pellets contain water, so they create steam while you cook, keeping your food moist. Does a gas or charcoal grill do that? I think not.
Come and see us at Southern Grill and Patio, just off the square in Troy.
More Force, we've been through a lot this year, from saving Christmas to facing some of our most nefarious foes.
Like the leprechaun.
Like the tax man.
Or the overpricer. And we defeated them all. So no matter what villain comes for our customers, they'll have to come through us first. We'll keep slashing our prices on new vehicles and beefing up our certified pre-owned selection. All just a click away at MitchellNissan.com. So whatever they need, the More Force is prepared.
More Force!
MitchellNissan.com. More, it's what we do.
Life is hectic enough without worrying if your lights will stay on or if there's hot water for your child's bath. So count on natural gas to keep the energy flowing, even when the weather is unpredictable. Natural gas is always there to keep your home warm, showers hot, and food cooked to perfection. That's why America has relied on safe and affordable natural gas for more than 150 years. And we will be here for you and future generations too. You can count on natural gas from Southeast Alabama Gas District.
The Walmart Distribution Center in Brundage is now hiring. We've extended our $2,000 signing bonus until the end of January 2022. And you can go back to school with our Live Better You program. Apply online today.
Our community is the driving force behind our stores. Our commitment to you has been our #1 priority for over 30 years. Whether it is providing quality, fresh, local, and affordable products or aiding local schools, churches, and charities, Piggly Wiggly is here for you.
I wish you could taste how much better food tastes when cooked on a Green Mountain grill. But I can let you in on the reason that's true. Our pellets contain water, so they create steam while you cook, keeping your food moist. Does a gas or charcoal grill do that? I think not.
Come and see us at Southern Grill and Patio just off the square in Troy.
More Force, we've been through a lot this year, from saving Christmas to facing some of our most nefarious foes.
Like the leprechaun.
Life is hectic enough without worrying if your lights will stay on or if there's hot water for your child's bath. So count on natural gas to keep the energy flowing, even when the weather is unpredictable. Natural gas is always there to keep your home warm, showers hot, and food cooked to perfection. That's why America has relied on safe and affordable natural gas for more than 150 years. And we will be here for you and future generations too. You can count on natural gas from Southeast Alabama Gas District.
The Walmart Distribution Center in Brundage is now hiring. We've extended our $2,000 signing bonus until the end of January 2022. And you can go back to school with our Live Better You program. Apply online today.
Our community is the driving force behind our stores. Our commitment to you has been our #1 priority for over 30 years. Whether it is providing quality, fresh, local, and affordable products or aiding local schools, churches, and charities, Piggly Wiggly is here for you.
Okay, still coming to work.
Back to our show, ladies and gentlemen, brought to you by Piggly Wiggly, one of the great grocery stores in our country, and we appreciate them very much. And boy, I tell you, I was in there this weekend, and their selection of meats is really, really good, and their produce has always been good and fresh, and it's a great store, Piggly Wiggly on South Brundage Street.
How was your reunion, your Clifton reunion?
It was real good. We really had a good time. I want to mention Piggly Wiggly is located on the bypass in Troy and also on North 39th Street. And yeah, we had a real good turnout and had a good time, and you know, it was, you know, the boys' game got canceled, and that was, that cut down on what being able to watch a lot of basketball, but I think everybody had a good time.
Y'all listeners to the women play?
Yes, sir, we sure did. They won. And we had great food. It was, boy, it was some, they had a big barbecue out by the basketball arena, and really that was really successful, and just had a bunch of good food and fellowship.
Well, Troy's women are now 13-6, 4-1 in the conference. They are tied with Louisiana Lafayette and Arkansas State for best record in conference play as well. So Coach Rigby's again.
I went to we took our whole family to the Appalachian State game. In Troy, it was a kind of a slugfest for a while, but Troy slowly pulled away in the second half and got a good, strong win.
I want to mention, of course, the weekend was without concern. There were 10 players off Troy's team that failed the test.
Oh my God! And you know, every one of them were vaccinated.
Yeah, and
you gotta have 7 players to play in a college basketball game right now. Is what the NCAA came out with. So those games will not be replayed be held right down the road from me in Pensacola, which is only like an hour and a half from Graydon.
That's right. Mike, on a local note or a family note, if we can say, your two little girls came down with it this weekend. Is that right?
Yeah, we found out yesterday. We had some at-home test kits that my mother-in-law brought down from Birmingham, and we tested my little one Millie, and she had the COVID coronavirus, and then I was negative. Then my daughter Mary Prater has the virus, COVID, and then my wife was negative. So we got 2 negatives and 2 positives. But my girls are, other than a runny nose, are doing fine, running around the house, and actually played in the yard for about an hour yesterday. And the only reason we tested is because both of the preschool teachers in the 3-year-old class tested positive, and then a couple other students tested positive. So we had the test, and we did the test, and I assume they're accurate. So anyway,
did those teachers have the shot, or do you know?
We don't know. But anyway, we got a quarantine. You know, my wife and I both had to work from home the rest of the week.
So y'all at home, yeah.
Huh?
You get a vacation out of this, don't you?
Not really. I mean, I still take plenty of orders and texts and emails and stuff,
Yeah.
but basically, just part of it. You know, everybody's got it right now down here. And I mean, just in Graydon alone, I talked to a guy the other day, and he told me about 5 different people I knew that lived over here that had COVID. So.
3, yeah. While we were putting together the Archer group, we had about half of them to call in with the virus, and so you know, it keeps happening, and of course, I'm gonna knock on wood.
I was telling Michael that if you go to uncoverdc.com, I've got a story up at a national publication, and here's what struck me. I was doing my COVID research, and I found the Florida Department of Public Health data, and I was interested in it, and it has all the infection rates by county in Florida. So I was, of course, interested in that, and then it has the vaccination rates of each county.
Yeah.
I said, well, this will be, you can compare the infection rates with the vaccination rates. Well, I was stunned to learn that Dade County, Florida, has a vaccination rate of 94%, Mike. That's age 5 and up. That's counting children, not just adults. Yeah. So virtually 100% of people in Dade County, Florida, have now been vaccinated. What county in Florida do you think has the highest infection rate? Cases per 100,000.
No, we got a phone call. Let's bring it in.
Dade County, Florida. Let's see.
Right.
Good morning. You're on Today in L.A. Good morning.
Hey, Bill. How you doing?
Hey, Will.
Good morning, Will. How you doing, man?
What's going on?
Cold down here. Cold.
Well, it's 27 in Troy this morning. Let's see what it says about Ozark.
Well, I'm in Dothan. I've got a doctor's appointment at 32.
Anyway, to finish my story, then we'll go on to other things, is that it was striking to me that the county with by far the highest vaccination rate
for Ozark, Alabama.
Has the highest infection rate. And also, the counties that have the lowest infection rate the last 2 weeks have the lowest vaccination rate. So what you're seeing in Florida the last 2 weeks is the counties with the highest vaccination rate are having the most cases, and then the opposite, the counties with the lowest So in Florida, it looks like the vaccinated are getting the virus a lot more than the unvaccinated is really the bottom line.
Well, it looks like at UAB they're running out of doctors and nursing staff because of so many issues as far as Omicron spreading so much. So you're understaffed at hospitals in Alabama right now. I mean, that work at UAB and stuff like that. And that's scary to think about, especially for the people that are not vaccinated. Those are the people that are going to be on your ventilators in those situations.
Well, there's the hospital staffs are 100% vaccinated pretty much, and they're, like you say, they're calling in sick left and right.
Get vaccinated. Get vaccinated. I don't care what anybody says. Get vaccinated.
It doesn't matter if you're vaccinated, though. I mean, you're still going to get the Omicron variant.
Well, that's what I'm saying. In Dade County, Florida, everybody except for 6% of the population is vaccinated.
That is amazing. That is amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I talked to 20 people in the last 3 weeks, and every single one of them that had the coronavirus has been vaccinated. Most of them have been vaccinated twice, and then had the boosters. So they did 3 shots.
Well, that's the only point I'm making is that this it was hype.
But the worst I've heard is they have flu-like symptoms. They don't have, and then there's like something going around right now called the COVID flu, where you get COVID and the flu at the same time.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that's probably not good. Well, the flu and some bug is circulating at the same time as COVID. That's why I've had. I know it's not COVID because what mine is a lot of congestion and cold symptoms.
You reckon you never have?
I've never tested positive for COVID.
Have you tried to be tested before?
Yeah, I've had 2 tests and tested negative.
They say a new thing about COVID, the Omicron variant is that you have night sweat. That's a new symptom that a lot of people can come down with.
Yeah.
Well, it's bizarre. I'll say that here we are 2 years in, 90% of the people vaccinated in some counties, and we don't even have just more cases. We have like double the number of cases that we've ever had. So who knows when it'll end. As far as most people that get it are mild or asymptomatic. People I think that are getting it, they are sick or a little sick. Yeah. But that's always been the case in COVID. I mean, going back to the very beginning, the asymptomatic cases and mild cases were, 40 to 90%.
The greatest thing out there is nobody is dying with it.
That's good. That's right.
To our knowledge, and that is what's so great about it is.
Well, there's some people dying, but it's not a huge number.
I imagine if you did check your percentages, I would say that the people that have the vaccinations are less likely to die with the
but those people that are giving it to the people that are unvaccinated, some of those people are dying.
Yeah, but they're the people that have not been vaccinated.
There are plenty of vaccinated people that are dying, but you're probably right that the unvaccinated are dying more than the vaccinated.
Get your shot.
You're right. Will Matthews called San Francisco to beat Dallas, and I tell you what, San Francisco just dominated Dallas really throughout the game.
Your listeners missed out because y'all weren't on the air Thursday, Friday. I was 6-0 on the pros.
Oh boy!
This weekend.
Wow, awesome. That's all.
I mean, with the spread, 6-0.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Well, that's what I was telling Dad. I said all you had to do is have the home favorite. If you had the home favorite in every game, you go 5-1.
Yeah.
And then the only team that had the upset was San Francisco over Dallas. Last night the Rams had split the regular season with the Cardinals. A lot of people thought that was going to be a close game, but the Rams dominated last night.
Yeah. But I'll tell you this: the one that surprised me more than any of them was Dallas. I thought Dallas at home in the playoffs. They got a great quarterback and all that, and man, they were terrible. They were terrible. Mm-hmm. But they hung in there until the last, and then that was crazy, right? The last what he did.
They were never in that game, Mike.
Yeah, I know it.
Well, they had the ball at the very end. They had the ball at the very end with a shot to throw a Hail Mary. Instead, they ran the ball. It's the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
What are the odds, though? Even if they get the play, it's from the 25-yard line, and they've got to score a touchdown, and Frisco is going to put 8 men back there guarding the goal line.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah, those type things are luck. It's all pretty much luck when you throw the Hail Mary.
It's not terrible odds though. It's worth giving it a shot.
Oh, yeah.
I would like to. I bet you about 1 out of 7 of those Hail Marys are 1 out of 10 maybe.
That's why you need a 6'8" or 6'9" wide receiver that can jump up over everybody and catch it, you know. But have you ever noticed this? You very rarely ever see a pass interference on a Hail Mary. The officials just won't call it, you know. Will Matthews calling in from Ozark. Of course, he's our attorney here at our show, and good friends of mine that were at the Archer reunion. One of them is a good friend of mine, Doug Carmichael, that lives in North Alabama, and he tunes into us quite frequently. He says,
"Thank you."
And he knows you. He knows all our guys, you know. And he asked me where.
I wonder if he was able to get home. They had 4 inches of snow.
That's right. He ran into the snow.
4 inches of snow.
Do you know he left early? He left early because of that one thing.
I saw some pictures on AL.com that looked like several inches of snow, but that is something you'll always remember. 4 inches. You could build snowmen with that.
He lives on Gunnersville Lake, beautiful place on Gunnersville Lake, and we really had a good time this weekend.
The great snows I remember, the all-time greatest was in 1973 when I was 8 years old. Now, I was living in Opelika, Alabama, and I think we got more. Troy, I understand, got a lot of snow, but y'all didn't get as much as Opelika. We got more.
Troy was really blocked in that day. I remember very well.
Ozark got 14 inches of snow, and the power was out for a week.
Gosh, 14.
Troy had the same.
Well, I think we measured it on our picnic table on the patio, and it was 8 to 10 inches. And
I tell you how.
I will always. That'll be one of my great memories. It'll always be with me. Is that snowstorm of '73.
And I remember that so well. I was in Montgomery and couldn't get home. I was actually, and then the next day. We were trying to get home.
For about 2 days, didn't it?
And Highway 231, the Highway 231 had one lane open going and one lane going go the other way, and the rest of it was just completely iced over.
Well, that was what 27, 40,
yes, exactly right.
49, almost 50 years ago.
Yeah,
we all remember it. Now, I can remember one in Troy. Gosh, sometime in the 90s, early 90s, when we had about 5 inches maybe. There was another good snowstorm, but nothing like 73.
And we mentioned, Mike, your 2 little girls have the virus. Is that true?
Yeah, it's not breaking news.
I know. Well, I mean, it's not breaking news, but it has strictly been identified as the virus.
Well, I mean, if you believe in at-home kit, yeah. I mean,
oh, is that?
Yeah, it's not from an actual doctor's office, but
yesterday.
Aren't they sending out at-home kits to half a billion Americans or
well, I mean, what happened was the government, I guess it's called COVID was coming to an end, and they sent them all to a bunch of other countries throughout the world, and the United States ran out of a shortage.
Well, here this.
Now they're trying to get more back in to the United States, but every time you go to a CVS or anywhere down here at the beach, they're all sold out.
Let me ask you, but why is it so important to test? I mean, have you seen what some of these people are saying? They're saying if you...
It's accountability, right? It's these sorry parents that send their kids to school with COVID. It's these teachers that go to school with COVID, knowing they have it. They send their kids to school with COVID, then my kids end up getting sick. You got to be responsible parents.
Well, I would say if you just use the old model that...
Send their kid to school knowing they have COVID, and then they affect everybody else.
Yeah.
Well, here's what parents need to do is the same with the flu or the cold. If your child is sick, keep them home until they're not sick. So...
Only reason we even knew our kids possibly had it was because 2 preschool teachers came out with it. Now, we could have sent our kids to school, and then they could have got everybody in the class, you know?
Yeah.
Well, what I'm thinking is everybody in that class already has it, and most of them are just...
Well, I mean, that's probably a possibility as well, but I mean, got to do the right thing if you're a decent person.
Yeah.
You know, you're
Steve,
not trying to get people sick.
Mike, we've had Steve to be on the virus. We've had Forrest to be on it. So we're
chairman of
everybody's had COVID.
In the NFL.
But my buddy Steve, though, Mike, he was stove up. Boy, he was stove
Well,
up.
Troy had 10 people's basketball team where I don't know if they were players or coaches, but 10 of them were got it.
But Steve's off of it now and doing fine. Is that right, Steve?
I went to Biloxi a week ago or 10 days ago. Stayed at the Bowl Lodge on Thursday night. The next 2 nights I spent in New Orleans, Louisiana.
Well, you were asking for it. You were asking for it.
I'm sure I came down with something. I might be asymptomatic.
Yeah, you came down with something. You're right.
Well, the thing with the kids are fine. You know, it sounds so terrible. They got a case of COVID. Well, it's the sniffles at the worst. I mean, like you just said, your kids have got it, and they're out there playing in the yard with a little runny nose.
But don't take it
that's
for granted.
That's a bad case for a child.
Just hearing they have it, though, scares you, though. I mean, you just don't ever know. You know, some kids, do have it.
And I've always heard the third day is the worst day. Have you ever heard that? Have you ever heard anybody say that? I've heard it quite a few times lately.
Well, as far as transmission, the 2 days before you are symptomatic and then 2 days after you're symptomatic are where you're the most infectious.
Our show's brought to you by Southeast Alabama Gas Company, located in Andalusia, Alabama, where their home headquarters are. And I tell you what, hey, I've got gas to heat my house and gas to cool my house, and right now it's doing a good job of heating my house. And of course,
it's just like it's just like when we didn't have COVID, we had the flu. You got sorry parents that send kids to school with the flu, and people get sick. You know, some parents just don't. I mean, want to stay at home with their kids. Some parents can't.
Yeah, they have to work. That's right.
How sick they are, and then everybody gets sick.
Yeah.
I mean, I hated it when I had little kids, especially when they were really young in preschool. Because every single time they went to school, they were sick every week because some other kid was sick.
And Rice, we're going to send Rice back to the testing again. And he loves to be tested.
Rice, if you've not had COVID, as many times you've been sick and coughing on the show, this is a miracle.
I've been tested twice. But, I always have allergies or coughs in the winter, bronchitis or something.
You look healthy, and of course, Mike, he comes in here with his good-looking sport coat and his pair of Bermuda shorts. He looks good.
I mean, there's some kind of bug that's non-COVID also going around that is creating, where you need Alka-Seltzer Plus type cold medicine and coughs and drainage. I've got to blow my nose every.
I think I'm immune to it. I went to Dallas. There was 80,000.
That's right.
Not a single mask. Went to Indiana, 70,000 people there, not a single mask. I haven't seen a mask yet.
I know. You have lived life to the fullest.
Indoor arenas.
That is something you're exactly right.
Alabama national championship game. I'm still amazed that you said that they were 75% Georgia compared to Alabama fans. I mean, what were Alabama fans? I mean, just giving away tickets. I can't imagine. They sold their tickets, Michael. You had to be kind of confident you had just beat them by 17 points. I mean, I'm kind of shocked by that.
It was just a much bigger deal for the Georgia fans. Alabama fans are, I tell you, they've been to so many of these big games over the last 15 years. They've the people that can afford it are running low. That's the.
I'm gonna tell you another thing, Bill. The airlines are a bunch of crooks. They raised the airline prices just for that weekend to an astronomical thing, and then the hotels tripled their rates just for that weekend. I mean, they were just gouging people.
Yeah.
And the Georgia people were paying it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're right.
Well, you
we're looking into going to Oxford for a game next year. We want to go to the Grove and watch Alabama play. My wife and a bunch of friends that live in Mississippi. And every night in Oxford, Mississippi was going to be $1,000 a night.
Oh, my gosh.
No, Michael. Stay in
Yeah.
I know that, Will, but I want to be able to walk around, though. I don't want to have to drive.
You don't have to drive. You go to Tunica. They've got buses that go to the game. They take you in there like at 8 o'clock in the morning, and then after the game, they'll bring you back.
Yeah.
So I can say the Gold Strike. I can say the Gold Strike, the big 35-story one, MGM. Okay.
That's right.
Have they got a facility like that, 35-story tall?
Yeah, that's a real tall one.
Not in Tunica though. They don't have that, do they?
No, that's the tallest one in Tunica by far. Yeah.
Tunica's got one. Oh, I didn't realize that.
The Gold Strike, if they end up taking they shuttle you from the casino. What time do you have to leave after the game?
Oh, you can stay around. They've got several shuttle buses.
That's one thing that a lot of Troy fans could look into for the first game. Troy opens the season out of Ole Miss too.
Yeah.
It's a horseshoe.
I wonder, could you get?
The horseshoe is owned by Harrah's, and the MGM owns the Gold Strike.
See, I thought most of those casinos were closed down. They're making a comeback.
No, they closed down a lot of them, but Horseshoe and Gold Strike are still there.
There's probably 5 or 6 still there.
But do you think you could get reservations for like the weekend Troy plays now?
Easy.
Oh yeah, I could. Yeah, I could go on.
That's what you ought to do right there.
Oh, you want me to do it for you?
yeah, go ahead.
Put me in there. Let's do it 3.
I tell you what's pretty awesome is we were at the Bow on Thursday night and we were staying on the up high on the 14th floor, but they put our room right at the very end, right above the MGM AA baseball stadium, a brand new baseball park right across from the Bower Lodge, where I want to say they're Padres affiliate, but the MGM has built a brand new minor league baseball park in Biloxi across from the Bow.
I didn't know that.
The studio is funded it. I mean, the casino has.
Yeah. I mean, it is a beautiful ballpark.
I'll tell you what you can watch for.
I could watch the game from my hotel room if there was a baseball season.
I bet
they in the same league as the Biscuits.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are.
I went down and a lot of the major leagues have practice games there, before the season.
Man, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was shocked. It was, literally right on top of it. I passed it a few years ago, but I actually could see it from the hotel room, and it was huge.
If you need a haircut, Raymond's is the place to go. Raymond's Style Shop on South Frontage Street. And, of course, Raymond, and he's got a girl there next to him that can do a super job.
Yeah, you're bragging about my haircut.
Of a rub down and also get a shave, and you can get it all done at Raymond's. Of course, I want to mention Premier Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram trucks, and we're there. Like I said at the top of the show, is they've got deals like you won't believe still going on after their record Monday, and of course still going on right here at Premier Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep. We'll be back 8 o'clock.
At Cost Plus 10%, we offer your favorite brands at the best price. At Piggly Wiggly, we keep it simple. We price our products at cost, then add 10% at checkout. We carry all your favorite name brand foods, and we accept manufacturer coupons. Find us on Facebook and see our weekly specials.
It's Alabama's favorite time of year.
How you doing?
The tailgate season event, only at...
In the market for a new or pre-owned vehicle? We've got what you're looking for.
So come see us at Bill Jackson Chevrolet Buick GMC in Troy, and you too can experience the Jackson satisfaction.
Bill Jackson Chevrolet Buick GMC.
I wish you could taste how much better food tastes when cooked on a Green Mountain Grill, but I can let you in on the reason that's true. Our pellets contain water, so they create steam while you cook, keeping your food moist. Does a gas or charcoal grill do that? I think not.
Come and see us at Southern Grill and Patio just off the square in Troy.
Life is hectic enough without worrying if your lights will stay on or if there's hot water for your child's bath. So count on natural gas to keep the energy flowing, even when the weather is unpredictable. Natural gas is always there to keep your home warm, showers hot, and food cooked to perfection. That's why America has relied on safe and affordable natural gas for more than 150 years. And we will be here for you and future generations too. You can count on natural gas from Southeast Alabama Gas District.
The Walmart Distribution Center in Brundage is now hiring. We've extended our $2,000 signing bonus until the end of January 2022. And you can go back to school with our Live Better You program. Apply online today.
Our community is the driving force behind our stores. Our commitment to you has been our #1 priority for over 30 years. Whether it is providing quality, fresh, local, and affordable products or aiding local schools, churches, and charities, Piggly Wiggly is here for you.
Back to our show, ladies and gentlemen, brought to you by Roadmark. And I tell you, I've done business with Roadmark for years. They're great people. They're reliable people. Roadmark in Troy and in Ozark and in Dothan. And we appreciate them very much.
Yeah, they've been good to me, too. You know what else they'll do? If you need some air in your children's bicycle tires, they'll do it, happily do it. And I appreciate that so much.
Well, I tell you what, anytime you can get air for your car, it's sort of hard to find in Max Howell.
Yeah.
Yeah, it cost you a couple of dollars to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Not at Roadmark.
Max Howell is our guest today, and Max, I was with a bunch of your old friends that played basketball for John Archer this weekend. I had a good time. Max Howell calling in from the great state of Mississippi, and
Max, I'm getting snow.
I'm here.
Yeah, he said they got all kinds of snow.
Oh, is it?
Max,
Yeah, it's pretty nasty up here this weekend, but it burns out pretty quick. Had a nice day yesterday. The sun's out this morning, but I didn't check the weather. I like 25 tonight, and high tomorrow is like 30 or 31. Rain, sleet, snow.
one thing I did learn this weekend, they say your sound has not been very strong, Mike, so you need to speak up when you speak to him.
Well, nothing I can do about it. I only have one bar of service in Great Beach, Florida, until they build a cell tower down here. Like they got 5 million of them at Seaside. I do not have one bar, so I don't sound very good.
Yeah. Well, I will say this, Max Howell, and Max has already reiterated that with us this morning, is the portal is here and shining.
No doubt about it. These guys, that's a new way to recruit. You save about 10 slots off that 45 every year. You go out there and pick up what you can. And I think every university now is starting to realize that's what they're going to have to do to maintain the level of excellence.
And don't you think, everybody says they go after quarterbacks and wide receivers, but I tell you what they need worse than anything is offensive linemen. Can you find any offensive linemen in the portal?
Yeah, it kind of starts there. And I think the next thing is the defensive backs, particularly corners.
Mm-hmm. Well, you got to have those. And if you can have great defensive linemen, you're set too.
Yes, sir.
That's Georgia.
Well, it looks like right now Alabama's going to bring in 20 new players due to NCAA
they're getting
and guys going early to the draft.
Wow.
They're getting swarmed.
What I saw last Monday night, they did it.
Yeah, you think they need a couple guys in the secondary? That guy playing defensive back was a junior college transfer tackling guys, trying not to give up touchdowns.
Number 1 and number 2 back there couldn't outrun us. That was awful.
Yeah.
Then they get both of them to go to the NFL and got good hands, but I didn't have the speed.
Yeah, you can only think that he's going to be maybe a 7th round pick, maybe a free agent. I don't see him going very far in the draft.
Right, I think he's a free agent, basically.
I was shocked how bad, though. I mean, once you lost Messi, once you lost James Williams, how basically that Hall kid was going to get open a wide receiver for Alabama. That's
no doubt about that. Well, here's what I wonder, guys, is this. You guys really study
jump off the screen at you. You know, I just think if any of them were really good, we would have seen it before the playoffs. You know, and
Oh yeah.
Alabama's kind of been spoiled by these highly hyped wide receivers that lived up to their billing, and you know these guys were playing as freshmen and you know standing out as freshmen, the good ones. You know, you can run through a list of about 9 of them that are in the NFL, but that's coming to an end, I think. So I think Alabama's going to have to go back and get their 4-leaf clover and hope they can get another Jameson Williams in the transfer portal.
Yeah, don't you think Alabama kind of, I mean, Bryce Young kind of suffered what they say all the time, the Heisman jinx? I felt like he didn't play very well in the playoffs.
Well, you know what? He couldn't get outside the perimeter, though. You know, Georgia would not let him. You know how he was able to move around back there. Georgia didn't let him do it.
I mean, the guy threw 4 interceptions all year. He threw 3 in the playoffs. He threw 1 against Cincinnati and 2 horrible interceptions against Georgia.
Yeah.
Well, I think a lot of that is the receivers we're talking about.
Not only did they change up the defense, they rushed 5, and that cut the double teams out. But then they stopped the run game. They didn't let Robinson get out of the backfield. And I don't know why Robinson kept trying to run between the tackles because all the yardage he got against Cincinnati was outside the tackle.
Yeah. You know, he didn't have a very good day. He did not have a very good day.
Kirby Smart's, I think, 47 years old. How many national championships is Kirby Smart win now? It used to be the Dabo Swinney conversation, but now does Kirby Smart win 4 or 5 national championships?
Max just said no under his breath.
Well, I think we're going to, once Texas and Oklahoma come in, and if Alabama and Auburn go to the East, I don't know how many championships Texas will win.
Well, it's
So you would have Missouri going to the West, which they should have been in the West the whole time, and then you would have Oklahoma, Texas, and then you'd have Auburn and Alabama go to the East. That's what it looks like.
Oh, that is interesting. So Alabama will now be in the same division as Georgia.
Well, is this going to happen? I didn't even know. I didn't
Well,
know
it makes
anything
sense.
about it.
Y'all making good points.
We've got 16 teams.
Yeah, oh yeah. Who are they going to bring in? Oh yeah, they've already brought them in. I'm sorry, I don't. They've already brought.
Well,
brought
they're going to bring them in.
They hadn't started playing yet. They're out there coming in 2023. I
Yeah.
believe.
Okay.
I think it's, the projection is 2025, but I think it's going to take years.
I still am concerned, not necessarily concerned because I really don't care. But you look at Oklahoma, and they can't even hold on to their great quarterback. It looks like. Do you think he's going to be one of these guys that's going to go back to Oklahoma? Or what do you think is going to happen to him?
He's probably going to Southern Cal with his coach, to tell you the truth.
Okay, that's probably what it is. And they'll pay him.
The Southern Cal quarterback and running back was on Ole Miss's campus yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh man, that's
dark.
That's Max Howell knows everything from the state of Mississippi.
It is 180 degrees different than football was 10 years ago, 7 years ago, 5 years ago. God.
Yeah.
I mean, look, wait until a month before the season, or a week before the season starts, and then look at the rosters, and then you'll have some idea of these teams. But I mean, it's going to be so much turnover. Who knows?
I want to mention Troy Regional Medical School Center right here in Troy, Alabama, one of the great hospitals in our area, and we appreciate them very much. And Mike, didn't you say yesterday that they were just packed with people trying to get tested? Is that right?
I've heard that at Sarah. I don't know about Troy Regional Medical Center.
Oh, it's yeah, okay, but Troy Regional Medical Center is busy, and if you need or want to feel good about your situation or know more about your situation, call Troy Regional Medical Center today. They.
Max, I'm interested. I know Tippin signed his big contract and decided to stay at Ole Miss, but Leach, at Mississippi State, the way they played that bowl game, I mean, would you think Mike Leach is probably on the hot seat going into next year?
I would think so.
Blown away by what he's done at State.
Yeah, you're right.
I think there's a lot of people
look at Arkansas. What Sam Pittman's done is incredible. And then you got A&M. You got Alabama. You got Auburn. You got LSU. I mean, at best, Mississippi State is probably going to be 5th or 6th.
Well, every poll I've seen, Auburn's ranked last in the SEC West this year.
Oh boy.
Yeah, really.
Do you think Auburn made a mistake? Mike, would you say Auburn made a mistake?
I mean, well, who is Auburn better?
It would have been a mistake let Bo Nix leave.
You're right. Why in the world did they do that?
How about the other level just left?
Yeah.
On top of that.
Oh, I know.
And, you can make a case that all of these teams are.
Everybody said Payne Bixby was going to transfer, but he's still there.
You can make a case that all of these teams are better than Auburn. Arkansas, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, LSU. And so you say, yeah, dang, Auburn is 7th in the SEC West. But then at the same point, you think that Auburn should have beaten Alabama.
Yeah.
I don't know how they did. I know.
Hey, Max.
And they were 28 points up on Mississippi State. Got beat.
Yeah. Max, bottom line, are most of these kids being paid now to play? Are they? I mean, and so a lot of that could have something to do with the portal a little bit. He's not paying me, so I'm gonna get in the portal.
Yeah, I go to this school where I get the NIL.
And he won't give me but $100 a month. He'll give me $1,000 a month.
Oklahoma quarterback's going to the highest bidder. He's trying to get somebody from paying $2 million.
So really, we're going to get involved in that, paying the players. Where's the money going to come from? Troy can't afford to pay players.
It comes from endorsement stuff.
I know it.
Like Bryce Young next year will be sponsored by Dr. Pepper. He'll be sponsored by Logan, who's already sponsored by this year. He's got all these autographed memorabilia companies he signs for. He's got all these other sporting goods places he signs for. I mean, he's going to make $5 million next year.
Are you serious?
Quarterback at Alabama, yeah.
No way. It's terrible.
Well, the word already is out, guys. It's Arch Man's been from the future. He's done Texas.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
Really?
Already. Now, is he go out this year or does he go out the next year?
No, next year. Next year. 2023.
Golly, that's something.
I know, but I mean, if you look at it right now, with name, image, and likeness, you would be crazy not to get in the portal and see who could pay the most money. I mean, it's one of those type things, because you never know when you can get injured.
Yeah.
Well, you guys, I know you guys saw the report that came out of Texas A&M. Their recruiting class cost them $30 billion this year.
Oh no. Oh, we're running it. They've opened up a can of worms.
Jimbo Fisher flat out came out, though, Max, and you know this, because you were recruiting at Florida State and Ole Miss. I mean, he said, well, what's the difference now? We used to have a bag man that would give a guy $50,000 or $100,000. We've had this all, for years. No one ever knew about it.
How do you think you got Jameis Winston?
Well, I think it's ruining college football. I really believe it's ruining college football. You've opened up a can of worms that you can't shut right now, and I think it's terrible.
I don't have the. I want to tell you this. Who is the biggest college football fan y'all know? Well, we're all tied. We're huge college football fans. But I'm going to tell you, my interest in college football is not what it used to be. I'm going to tell you something else. I don't follow college basketball near as closely as I used to. You know why? One thing is this transfer portals in basketball. I couldn't keep up with the rosters. There was such huge turnover and year after year. And so if Bill Rice Jr. is no longer engaged in this sport, that doesn't bode well for the long-term future of the sport.
Yeah.
You know why college basketball is so horrible now? They call so many fouls. I can't even watch the game.
I know, me too, Mark.
Anybody,
yeah. They go to the line after 10 minutes, and they're shooting free throws for the rest of the game.
It's the referees are ruining all the sports from high school to pros. Think that the fans came to watch them play, but yeah, the basketball, it's just as bad in basketball as it is in football. You're right.
Right now.
Have you ever thought about why the portal has become so popular? Let me give you a little history.
Yeah, I got it.
When the NCAA stopped the 4-year contract and cut it to 1 year, those one year to cut it.
That's right. They're not tied in, are they?
They can be cut any day of the week with no repercussions. So why wouldn't you go? From their standpoint, why wouldn't you look at the best deal you could get?
Yeah, Max is 100% right about that. Coach Summerall said that on the show on Monday. Last Monday, he said that. It's a one-year contract.
Well, you know, it's kind of, I think, when did they change that? I thought it's always been kind of it was kind of a gentleman's agreement that they would let you stay for 4. It was bad PR to.
It's all business now, Bill. It's not a gentleman, it's no more gentleman's business.
Yeah.
It was bad. It was bad PR to kick a kid off the scholarship, and you almost never heard about it.
See, Saban knew the rules early on. When he got to Alabama, I don't know if you realize, right? You remember how many guys left that program because of medical hardship?
Yeah.
But they kept them on scholarship. See, Saban knew it even way back then what he could do.
Sure. But the thing that most of them do, why you don't ever hear much about it, is those kids, the coaches, find a way to get them somewhere else. They don't just cut them off and go to the street.
Right.
They, you know, they'll end up at New Mexico State or Idaho, you know, Southwestern or whatever.
The only,
you don't ever hear from them again.
you know, the only thing that could stop some of it is, let's say they've got 75 total scholarship players on scholarship. What if they had their full 85 on scholarship? They couldn't get any more. Is that right?
That's right.
So that's the only way you can stop them. That's the only way you can really stop them.
That's the big number everybody needs to look at. Is you got 85,
but see, here's the other side of that. They also allow in that same contract up to 20 preferred walk-ons, and if they got sponsorship for them and they get paid, they can just pay their own way.
Yeah. Good point.
See, what Alabama, I mean, this is honest God truth. They need to change the rules as entering the NFL draft. Because, I mean, Will Anderson should sit the whole year out next year. Bryce Young should sit the whole year out next year for Alabama and just get ready for the NFL draft. All they're doing is basically risking injury playing. I mean, I know they're going to make, because of name, image, and likeness, they're probably going to make, $1 million from that. But, I mean, Will Anderson, he'd be the first pick in the draft this year, but he's got to play another year at Alabama.
You know, the quarterbacks at Alabama are not doing very well in the pros right now. Neither three of them. You know.
They all have winning seasons.
Well, Mike, but I'm talking about right now. Do you think that Miami's quarterback played well, or do you think Hurt played well, or do you think Jones played well?
I feel like Jalen Hurts is a lot better than I ever thought he'd be.
But you didn't watch yesterday. He was terrible yesterday. Terrible.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, he led a team to the playoffs this year for starting quarterback in the NFL. Did you ever think that when he got beat out by Tua?
Yeah, I wouldn't think so. And Tua's not playing very well right now either, is he?
He's all right.
9-8.
Yeah.
Tua's going to be fine, I think, if he just stay healthy. That's the big.
You know.
Tua fumbles the ball too much. Yeah. Fumbles every time.
Yeah.
Oh, man. At one time, though, we thought he hung the moon, didn't we?
He did.
Well, he had one great play.
Yeah. Max Howell's our guest, ladies and gentlemen, and, of course, calling from the great state of Mississippi. Max, what's going on with you?
Not a whole lot. I mean, you know, it's kind of, I'm watching the transfers come and go. I'll watch a little bit on the off season. I keep waiting for spring training to start. And we'll see how these teams stay. I can't wait to see what this is going to do about a quarterback.
Yeah, that was the next thing I was going to ask you. They need a quarterback badly.
Well, remember he basically signed a huge deal, got $2 million raise and a house and all that stuff. There's still 4 or 5 jobs in the NFL open. And that's the thread around here. The word is that if he doesn't get a quarterback or sign 8 or 10 good players, he's going to probably vote for the NFL.
Want to mention our friends at C Spire, the new owners of Troy Cable. C Spire is the name to know at Troy Cable now, and we appreciate them very much being coming to Troy, Alabama. So remember, C Spire is located right here on South Grundy Street and across the country.
see what Dan Muller does. The former Florida coach, of course, he lost his job, and of course he was at Mississippi State for years.
Well, let me just tell you the rumor. Let me give you a rumor.
Some pros.
Let me give you a rumor. I did a show at Tuscaloosa yesterday morning. And the word over there is he may end up on safety staff.
Who is this now?
Dan Muller.
Oh yeah, but you know what? They showed him. I can't believe that they put him on the air so much before the Alabama game.
He was good, Mike.
I know he was good, but he doesn't.
We haven't talked about Chiswick is going back into coaching too. He's going back to North Carolina.
He's going back to North Carolina, yeah.
Hey, I tell you what, he'll make him a good one, and probably pay him $1 million to be assistant, won't they?
Yeah.
Oh, at least, yeah.
Mike, was it somebody? What did you say just a while ago? Did you say somebody died?
No, I'm talking about Dan Muller.
Okay. I thought it was somebody else that you mentioned.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of that has to do with Bill O'Brien. If Bill O'Brien gets a head coaching job in the NFL, which is very possible, he was the head coach of the Texans for a long time. I don't know. I was not blown away with Bill O'Brien this year. I like Sarkisian a little bit more as offensive coordinator, but I mean, Bryce Young, did win the Heisman Trophy under O'Brien as his coach.
Yeah.
Well, he's already interviewed in Jacksonville with the Jaguars. So I think he's gone. I'll be honest with you. I think his time. He served his time. He did a job, but didn't win a championship. So,
how many times this year though were you shocked when Alabama had the ball at the 5-yard line and you didn't run the ball? That happened a lot this year.
Yeah. It did. So,
they had
5-yard line. First and goal from the 5. He threw the ball 3 times. I remember that at least 3 times.
Do you know what? Yeah. And if you remember right, and I watched the game again last night, they instead of scoring touchdowns, they were kicking field goals, and that was the difference in the game. Alabama could have jumped up by 21 to 6 or 9 or whatever at one time.
Score touchdowns.
Well, that's what makes no sense. You had no wide receivers. You lost Jameson Williams 2 minutes ago in the second quarter. Becky was already out of the game. You don't try to run the ball down there 5 times?
Yeah, you're right.
Robinson was way on top of that. He just played with it.
I like when they had early in the game where they did that little option with Bryce Young, when they would run the little option.
Yeah, me too.
Because they're trying to spread them out.
Of course, Max is calling from Fulton, Mississippi today, and Max, what you got going on as far as what's for dinner?
Listen, man, it's too cold snowing. Right
It is still snowing up there.
I cooked about, I think it was 6 or 8 of us on Sunday night. Now I got a new recipe on a seafood casserole. I put 10 pounds of shrimp, crab, and fish in a Pyrex with cheese and rice, and topped it off with water chestnut. Put it in the oven. The next thing came out, it must weigh 25 pounds.
Oh boy!
We had that in coleslaw, and we had a big chocolate cake for dessert.
Oh boy!
To go home full, and I was like,
exactly right.
Well, please.
But this is a late.
We're not cooking anything outside right now. It's way too bad.
Yeah, and dove season is gone, and of course deer season still going on. Is that right?
It's it is this month. The 2 weeks is over.
Of course, we appreciate.
Tell you what, I live down in Drayton, and I see more deer down here than I did in Alabama. Out on 98, you see about 50 deer a day right next to the road.
If anybody wants to take your children out to see deer, and maybe it might be better off at night, is go down the Orion Road. From the Highway 231 to the old Orion Road. But it's one where the missile plant's located.
Yeah. That's good.
Martin Marietta.
Yeah, and I met a couple of those guys this weekend that really helped us out, and we appreciate them very much. But of course, ladies and
If anybody
gentlemen.
wants to see any deer, just come to my back porch, and just, you're going to see about 8 in any given day.
Well,
and about 3 or 4, I'm going to come up about 20 feet from my back door, and they're just going to lay down like little puppies and just rest.
I will reiterate myself. If you want to see deer, go there at night. You'll see maybe close to 100 along that stretch. Now, the stretch is about 3 or 4 miles, but you'll see deer on both sides of the road.
I got a theory about this, that you're seeing deer a lot more than you used to, which tells me that people are not hunting deer nearly as much as they used to. So you're not thinning out the deer.
They do this though, Bill. I'm gonna tell you.
Well, I know they do around where you live, obviously, but in Pike County, I don't think as many people hunt deer as they used to.
I got 2 or 3 guys got deer stands in their front yard.
Yeah,
But basically what it comes down to is people in Pike County can't shoot.
Okay, well, all right, let me just say this. The guy asked me, he said, Mike, you got all this land and all these guys deer hunting and everything. Why don't you deer hunt? I told him, I said, listen, if they hunted cow, I'd go every day. We'll see you tomorrow, bright and early for Today in L.A. Thank you, Max.
We're back.
I wish you could taste how much better food tastes when cooked on a green